Today, today I'm gonna be discussing chapter 3 of Java, variables. So what are variables? Variables is basically like storage unit for your data. So in our program, we basically declare a variable by giving the name of the variable and then assigning specific values to that variable, so we can use that data in that variable um, within our methods and other classes and so on. So there's primitive variables, also references as well. Primitives is just mainly working with like integers, strings, and arrays and so on. And then there's also references, which like are used with objects and in other classes and methods and stuff. So let's jump into it. So basically over here, I have this program, book test drive, a class, and a main method. Within it, I created an array. So in this activity, there's an array over here. So this array, the name of this array is my books, and it can store 3 different values basically. So this is the amount of values that can be stored in the array. Then here I have declared an integer variable which has the value of 0. But firstly, over here in my books class, I have 2 variables, title and author, and of course in my books test drive, which has my main method, I'm gonna add values to those arrays. So as I said, firstly I have this array. No, sorry, I'm gonna add values to those variables. That's what I mean. So yeah. So I have this array, then this variable which has a value of 0. Then I have 3 objects. So these objects are basically gonna be added into my array. So I have my first object indexed by 0, meaning that it's gonna be added to the array as the first value. This object as well as the second value. This one is the third value. So basically over here I have my books, which is my array, and indexed by 0, indexing it the value of 0, meaning that I'm gonna add the grapes of Java string over here as the first title in my array. So I'm accessing the array and then the variable title, which is here, and adding that value into the variable. And then I'm doing the same with this string being added to the title variable and this string being added to the title variable. While that is happening, I'm adding them into the array by using my books with all of these indexes here. Then I do the same by adding the authors into the array. But in order to add the authors, you need to give the empty arrays of author, which is basically declared here. And then here I'm assigning values to them. So Bob, Sue, and Ian. But because of indexing, these authors will belong to the specific titles of the books, basically, as we can see here. Then this while loop is saying while x is less than 3, we're basically gonna print out my books, which is the array indexed by x, right? And the title of those books. So we access the array and then the title of the book for the first book, second book, and third book. Reason why we're able to print all the books is because this while loop is using X to loop through that specific array. And then we do the same with the author, followed by the string. It's able to loop through the array. So this is able to loop through the array because we're incrementing X by 1. So as long as it's less than 3, it will loop through the array, and then as soon as it's greater than 3, then the while loop stops. So it's basically accessing the title of the books and the author of the books and getting that data basically. So when I run this, then we can see The Grapes of Java by Bob. So that is this here shows the title of the book, which brings all the titles of the book, and then the author over here. So it does that for all three values of the title in the array and all 3 values of the author in the array. So yeah, that's basically a summary of chapter 3 with variables and arrays.